Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. For those of you who do not know me, my name is Amanat and I'm press counselor at the Pakistan Mission. So first of all, let me begin by thanking you all for being here today to attend this press briefing. You know, today marks the formal assumption of presidency of Security Council by Pakistan. Today we are joined by His Excellency Ambassador Asim Iftikhar Ahmed, who is joining us as President of the Security Council. So he'll make a brief statement explaining the program of work, and then we will be open for Q&A. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, colleagues. It is my pleasure to brief you on the Security Council's program of work for July, a month during which Pakistan has the honor to serve as the President of the Council. And let me first of all begin by commending our colleagues from the Guyanese delegation, particularly Ambassador Caroline and their brilliant colleagues, for their very capable and principled stewardship of the Council during a very busy month of June. As you are aware, this is Pakistan's 8th term on the Security Council. We assume the presidency with a deep sense of responsibility and conviction. Our approach is firmly rooted in the purposes and principles of the UN Charter, peaceful settlement of disputes, sovereign equality of member states, and respect for international law and multilateralism. I would like to present to you some of the key highlights from the program of work, which was adopted earlier this morning by the Security Council. It includes a full schedule of periodic and mandated briefings and other meetings across a broad range of regional and thematic issues. Let me point to some of the key elements of this program. First, signature events. Pakistan will convene 2 signature events during its presidency. First, high-level open debate on promoting international peace and security through multilateralism and peaceful settlement of disputes. It will be scheduled on 22nd July. It will be chaired by the Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Minister of Pakistan, Senator Muhammad Ishaq Dar. And the Secretary General is expected to brief the Council. The debate stems from the fact that today's crises often emerge from unresolved disputes, erosion of international obligations, and often underutilization of peaceful means enshrined in the Charter, including those in Chapter 6 of the Charter. We aim to reflect on the effectiveness of dispute settlement mechanisms, discuss obstacles to implementation of Council resolutions, explore ways to enhance diplomacy, preventive diplomacy, mediation, and technical support, and reinforce the commitments made in the Pact for the Future towards preventive diplomacy and peaceful dispute resolution. Secondly, we'll have a briefing on cooperation between the UN and regional and sub-regional organizations, and in that context, a briefing with the Organization of Islamic Cooperation. It will be held on 24th of July, and again, the Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Minister of Pakistan will chair this briefing, and this meeting will spotlight the UN's engagement with the OIC, which represents 57 member states across 4 continents. The OIC has played an increasingly important role in conflict prevention and mediation, humanitarian response, and post-conflict recovery, and particularly promotion of dialogue and cooperation. This briefing will explore ways to institutionalize and deepen cooperation between the UN and the OIC, especially in support of peace processes in different situations. And we'll also have the quarterly open debate on Middle East, including the Palestinian question, This is scheduled on 23rd of July, and we are considering to elevate it to a ministerial level. This meeting will reaffirm Council's responsibility to protect civilians, uphold international humanitarian law, and push for an immediate ceasefire, as well as a just and lasting solution based on UN resolutions regarding the Palestinian question. Then you will have a look at the program of work throughout the month. The Council will consider several country-specific and thematic files. Mostly these are mandated briefings and situational updates. These include Colombia, we have Haiti, we have Cyprus, we have Sudan, ICC, and updates, monthly updates on Syria, Yemen, and also consultations on Lebanon in the context of Resolution 1701. We remain ready to convene additional meetings should developments on ground, particularly in Africa, Middle East, Asia, require timely Council engagement. Lastly, on working methods to which Pakistan is deeply attached as an elected member of the Security Council, let me briefly outline our working methods and approach for this month. First, transparency and inclusivity. We are committed to an open and consultative presidency. We will remain in touch. We will maintain close coordination with all Council members and keep the wider UN membership engaged. We will also ensure timely and clear communication with the media and the civil society. Secondly, member state engagement. We are organizing wrap-in and wrap-up sessions at the beginning, at the end, and the end of the month, and we will also hold regular briefings and informal consultations as needed. Thirdly, responsiveness to crises. We will monitor global situations closely, especially in conflict zones such as the Middle East, Africa, where we have Sudan, DRC, and other situations of which Council must remain seized and must remain nimble and credible. And lastly, support to subsidiary bodies. We have kept Fridays largely open for meetings of the subsidiary bodies. You know that there was a considerable delay in the agreement on the chairs of subsidiary bodies. Now it has been decided, so it's time to, catch up on the gaps that are there in the working of these important bodies. Pakistan also serve as chair and co-chair of subsidiary bodies, including 1988 Taliban Sanctions Committee and also the informal working groups on sanctions and documentation. We'll continue efforts to enhance transparency, accountability, and coherence in the work of these bodies. Looking ahead, our focus will remain on ensuring that the Council's work this month is anchored in three key principles: responsibility, relevance, and resolve. We are mindful of the role and responsibility of the presidency and will approach this task with professionalism and the seriousness that it deserves. We value continued engagement of the media, in particular, in conveying the work of the Council to global public, and welcome your comments, your questions, and insights as we move forward. With that, I would like to conclude my opening remarks, and I'm available for your questions and comments.
Yes, Eddie, please.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ambassador, on behalf of the United Nations Correspondents Association, for doing this briefing. My name is Edith Lederer from the Associated Press. First, a question on your two signature briefings on multilateralism, on the 22nd and on UN engagement with the OIC on the 24th. Are you expecting any outcome documents on either of those meetings? And secondly, the Council is going to be discussing Haiti tomorrow, and the president of the Economic and Social Council today urged the Council to take action on trying to beef up funding for a logistics package for the multilateral force in Haiti. Are you expecting any action to be taken? Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Edith. On your first question, yes, we have two signature events, as I pointed out. And yes, we will be aiming for outcomes from both events. And this is in line with what I see and hear in general, not only among the council members, but among the non-council members, that there is expectation that council's work, council's discussions and proceedings should also lead to outcomes where possible. So we have that desire and that expectation, and we'll brief you more about that as we proceed with those discussions. Secondly, your question about Haiti, and you referred to the remarks by the president of the ECOSOC, which obviously ECOSOC is also engaged closely with the developments in Haiti. And incidentally, we had a full discussion on Haiti in the month just ended. And all those questions about how to tackle this very complicated situation that is there in terms of response and what kind of best possible response and in what time frame are under discussion. And as you know, that the recommendations of the Secretary General that were contained in his letter of 24th February are before the Council. So I can tell you that there is already an intense discussion among the Council members, and tomorrow's briefing and consultations, obviously, which are on BINU, also are in a way related. So this discussion is ongoing. We hope to move in a positive direction.
Dr. Siam.
Thank you. Assalamu alaikum, Mr. Ambassador. Abdelhamid Siam of the Arabic Daily Al-Quds Al-Arabi. I have two questions. One for you as a representative of Pakistan, and the second about the UN. And my first question about the position of Pakistan, you took a principled position supporting Iran when it was attacked by Israel and the US. Are you concerned that they might start targeting Pakistan being a nuclear state? Because some countries don't want to see a powerful a Muslim country to have nuclear capabilities. So are you concerned about that? And my second question about the report of the children in armed conflict. We have noticed that Catherine Russell did not attend the meetings when they talk about Palestinian children. Virginia Gamba gave a very unfair report to the Palestinians, talking about only 1,269 children killed. And when the Algerian ambassador criticized her, she walked out in a very unexpected move. Other senior UN officials did not live up to their mandate. Pramila Patten is one of them, and others. So what is your take as the president of the Security Council when you see these kind of act of senior UN officials? Thank you.
Thank you. On your first question, I believe I have to leave aside my role as the president of the council and try to respond to your comment in my capacity as the representative of Pakistan. You have rightly noted that we have, expressed our support. Not only our support, we have clarified and, stated our position on that conflict very clearly in the council, outside the council, and our position is principled and is based on international law and respect for the UN Charter. And regarding your other question, which I believe is totally hypothetical, I don't think there is any relation to this with Pakistan and our strategic capability, which is well known and is not at all related to the situation in Iran. Secondly, your question about the debate and I would say historical context about the work on children and armed conflict. First of all, this is a very important mandate, and we believe that, and as a council member, we believe that in considering such important mandates to which not only the Security Council but the wider membership and the international community, including the media, have great interest in following, we believe that the best way to really promote these mandates and to make them more effective is to apply those conditions and criteria uniformly, universally, and without selectivity. That is very important. So if we are able to do that, then we will be strengthening those mandates. But if we are failing to do that, that would mean automatically that we are actually undermining those mandates. So those are my comments on that.
Yes, please.
Thank you very much. And thank you, Ambassador. It's Pamela Falk from U.S. News and World Report. On non-proliferation, what is in your national capacity, what is Pakistan's position on Iran threatening to withdraw from the NPT, the Non-Proliferation Treaty, since in light of the fact that Pakistan is not a party to the NPT, even though it's a nuclear power? And are you encouraging Iran to return? Europe just did that, encourage Iran to return to IAEA talks. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Again, in the national capacity, we've clarified, we have stated our position, and because this issue has been on the agenda of the Security Council for quite some time, and we have had the opportunity to express ourselves, so our views are very clear. We've always stated, and we continue to maintain, that the best way to address the Iranian nuclear issue in all its complexity is through dialogue and diplomacy. And we believe that this was in a big way derailed by what happened and by those attacks, but still, like many other members in the council and outside the council, we believe that there is space, there is this window of opportunity to have that dialogue and to finally and conclusively settle this issue in accordance with the international legitimacy, in accordance with the respective rights and obligations of all parties concerned. So that remains our very firm view, and we hope that there can be movement in that direction.
And on the NPT?
I can't, comment on what particular steps, Iran is going to take. That's their decision. But I think the hope is that, remaining within that framework, there can be talks, there can be dialogue that can peacefully settle this issue.
Thank you.
Iftikhar sir, followed by Daisy.
Thank you, Amanat, and thank you, Ambassador. With regard to the signature event about OIC UN cooperation I would like you to elaborate on the reasoning for bringing it in the Security Council, as the UN General Assembly routinely adopts resolutions calling for strengthening of UN cooperation with OIC.
Yes, thank you very much. Basically, there are one or two key reasons. Firstly, if you look at the work of the Security Council, and if you look at the charter, then the cooperation with regional organizations, regional and sub-regional organizations and arrangements is a fundamental part. You have the Chapter 8, and we see that there is that cooperation which has gone to a great extent, and that level of cooperation with certain regional organizations is very much developed. So you have the African Union, you have the European Union, you have several sub-regional organizations in Africa. And similarly, OIC is an important a multilateral organization. It has 57 members. There are many areas which I mentioned also, which have been subject of cooperation between the OIC and the UN, and many of those areas, country and region specific, and thematic issues like counterterrorism, counter-extremism, and many other things, humanitarian issues, they relate to OIC's areas of interest. And let's not also forget that together with Africa, which has many issues on the agenda of the Security Council, if you look at the whole list of issues of which the Security Council is seized, many of those issues are also related to the OIC. So we see there is great value in having that interaction between the OIC and the UN Security Council, and such briefings have been held in the past, not very frequently or regularly. So we thought that this is a good opportunity to bring that interaction back in focus.
Daisy.
Yes, Ambassador Shudachi with China Central Television. First, wish you a peaceful month. Two questions. First, in the capacity of Pakistan, we know that Pakistan, Russia, and China submitted a draft resolution on Middle East. How did that go? Will there still be a meeting to take action on that draft resolution? And secondly, in the capacity of the presidency of the Security Council on Gaza, our audience, we also all those Security Council debate. Many member states in the Council said, we urge Council to take actions. They are the Council member. They urge Council to take the actions. What actions can the Council still do with one permanent member blocking basically everything on Gaza? Thank you.
Thank you. So on your first question, and I think I have something to say, obviously, in my national capacity. So I'll assume that role. As you rightly noted, there is a draft resolution that was proposed, and it's on the table. It was jointly proposed by Pakistan, China, and Russia. And the objectives of that resolution were pretty clear, with regard to what happened, and basically seeking ceasefire. And when the ceasefire happened, we modulated it to welcome or to take note. All possibilities are there. So this, in fact, is the only text which is currently on table. It remains under discussion and consideration. We believe, and you might agree, that there may be a need to take note or welcome the ceasefire, and to have it endorsed by the Council. So this discussion, is there.
The draft is still on the table, which means...
Yes, draft is there. Secondly, about Gaza, Yeah, I can comment as a president also. I mean, this situation has been there. I mean, you know the ins and outs. You know the open debates and the discussions that have taken place in the council. And there was, after a considerable wait, I would say there was the most recent effort by the E10, which was supported by 14 members. Unfortunately, couldn't go through. But that is what I believe the council members are saying, that this is our responsibility. We are making our efforts. We will continue to do that, and we hope that we can overcome the obstacles, and we can eventually propose something from the council as an outcome that can contribute to a ceasefire and peace and stability. And not only that, if you follow the discussions closely, the majority of the members in the council and outside the council in the General Assembly, they're talking of further steps. They're talking of a political horizon about the future of Palestine. And in that context, obviously there's other discussion that is ongoing, and there was this international conference on two-state solution that needs to be resumed. So all those discussions, all those aspects of the Palestinian question, and particularly the humanitarian crisis in Gaza, they remain under close watch in the Security Council.
Yes, please.
Thank you very much. Excuse me. Evelyn Leopold, the Dag Hammarskjöld Fund for Journalists. Thank you for the briefing. And I wish you the best this month, a quiet month, which is probably not the case. I didn't hear you mention Ukraine. And do you plan to have any meeting on that? Because there's the Russian bashing of innocent civilians has increased. And
You have another question?
what?
You have another question?
Oh, I
Yeah.
have another one, yes. Are you going to have any meeting on Afghanistan? Because in your national capacity, you have a great many Afghans who don't want to leave your lovely country and go home. That's it, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much for your kind words. And on Afghanistan, you would have followed. We just had a debate and the briefing on Afghanistan in last month. So, but if there is a need, and I think this is the general practice, you know very well how the council works. There is a program of work which includes many of the mandated and periodic meetings and briefings, but council is the master of its own procedure, and we discuss. We are continuously watching and following the developments, and wherever a situation requires to be taken up, it is done. That remains the case for Afghanistan, and as well as on Ukraine. You've seen that in the previous months, Ukraine was not reflected perhaps initially in the program of work, but eventually you saw that there were meetings that were organized and took place. So that can very well be the case now.
Linda, followed by Lenka.
Thank you. Linda Vasulo with NPR here at the UN. My question is in regard to Gaza. I was wondering, perhaps in your national capacity, what role do you think that Hamas could or should play in the future of Gaza? And also, given in the larger issue of a two-state solution, given that Hamas has called for, has historically in its charter called for the destruction of Israel, I was wondering how you see that meshing.
Well, actually, in some ways, it's a complicated question and a situation, but for me, it's not for me, even in a national capacity, to say. Basically, it's an intra-Palestinian issue which they need to discuss and address. And I think the best way is to leave it to the Palestinians how they wish to see, what kind of future, what kind of, future arrangements, what kind of future governance, they are looking at in the entire, Palestinian territory, including Gaza. So that would be my response. I would not like to venture, into going, beyond that.
Lenka.
Thank you very much, Ambassador, and good luck with your presidency. I just wanted to follow up on Deji's question. What is the timeline for the voting on the resolution? And do you think you can convince the United States to vote in favor? Thank you. What is the timeline on the resolution? When could we see the voting happen? And do you think you can convince the United States to vote in favor on the resolution on Iran?
Timeline.
Yeah, okay. I mean, at the moment, there is no timeline, but, there are discussions going on. And I can only tell you at this point of time that, obviously there are differences on the text that has been tabled. So we need to see, on what basis and on what kind of language and formulations can garner maximum support, including support of all the permanent members to have any such resolution adopted. And my colleague was actually pointing out to me that I missed one element from the program from my initial remarks, which is about a briefing that we are going to organize on 29th of July, and this is on UN peace operations. So we'll have briefings by both Under Secretary Generals DPO and DPPA, and this will be in the context of Secretary General's ongoing review on peace operations. Will be an important briefing.
Do we have any more questions? Yes.
Thank you for giving me the chance again to ask. I want to ask about Kashmir. Between 1948 and 1951, there were, I think, 7 Security Council resolutions calling for the right of the Kashmiri people for self-determination through referendum, and one of the resolutions to take the issue to the ICJ. And then the issue has disappeared for a long time. It came back in a report by the Human Rights Council, I think 2016, 2017, was updated by Michelle Bachelet in 2018, then again went into absentia. So in your capacity as President of the Council, can you think of a way that this issue could be discussed in the Security Council? Thank you.
Thank you. As I noted that, all those issues that remain on the agenda of the Security Council can be discussed at any point of time. And we saw that recently happening in May also. So the India-Pakistan question is on the agenda of the Council. It is a historical fact. It's an historic agenda which remains there, on which a lot of discussion has taken place, in fact led to many of the Security Council resolutions that you are mentioning. Basically the crux of those resolutions is the Security Council determining that this is a dispute, this is a disputed territory. The principle for peaceful resolution of this dispute was also specified by the Security Council, that is the principle, the right of self-determination, and the method in which this was to be decided was also stipulated in those resolutions that there will be a plebiscite under the auspices, organized under the auspices of the United Nations, in which not India, not Pakistan, but the Kashmiri people will decide about their future, whether they want to accede to India or Pakistan. The problem in what was apparently a simple, situation, a simple problem that was brought to the Security Council, and then the Council working under the peaceful settlement procedures recommended, that method and that principle of resolving this issue became complicated because one of the parties, that's our neighbor, that backtracked on its own obligations to the Kashmiri people, to the council, to the international community. Here I'm talking in my national capacity, and refused to let that plebiscite take place. So that is the core of the problem. This is an issue that is a fundamental dispute between India and Pakistan that is there, that has remained there. It is festering dispute, and it has several dimensions. It obviously has peace and security dimensions. It has political and legal dimensions. And it also has human rights dimensions. As you mentioned, there were two very big, strong reports by the Office of the High Commissioner for Human Rights in 2018 and 2019. So, in all of these aspects, this is an issue that has been there, unresolved. It is a cause of tensions and frictions between India and Pakistan. It is impeding development and friendly relations in our region. And it is time that this be addressed. And I would say this is not only a responsibility of Pakistan, and we are here only temporarily for 2 years as a non-permanent member. I think it's the responsibility of the Security Council itself, and particularly the permanent members, to see that they take certain steps to actually get their own resolutions implemented. That's the way forward.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ambassador, for your briefing. My name is Yu from Kyoto News Japanese Media. So I have follow-up one question about NPT. So, but it's not just only treaty, but also more in general about non-proliferation. So what do you think about the non-proliferation, like the Iran or DPRK to get the nuclear weapons? So, and then do you have any comment to the NPT, like it's unfair or something like that? Thank you.
Could you repeat the last part?
Do you have any comment to the NPT, the treaty of NPT, like it's not fair or something like that? Thank you.
Well, if you're talking of Iran, obviously, and this is a part of the discussion, and this is one of the major points, that it's a party to NPT, and under NPT it has certain rights. And it has, those rights need to be respected. So this is part of the overall discussion. Because we see that some aspects of that discussion, you can see that they're actually deviating from Iran's own rights, being a party to NPT. So once again, I can only say that this is a complicated discussion that has been further complicated by the military attacks on the nuclear sites. And we hope that despite this, there would be a way to return to dialogue for a peaceful outcome. Thank you. I think we can.
So, with this, we come to the conclusion of the briefing. Thank you very much, everybody.
This is Adam. Dakar, Africa, bringing you the latest.
Tell us what you think in the comment. Like and share to friends and family. See you in the next video.